Hello everyone, first off welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. The game finally came out, I think like 10 minutes ago. And for our first video, let's go and analyze the major powers of Hearts of Iron 4 and see which benefits they have. And after we did it, let's conclude what you should play as a starter and why you should play this nation. Let's go into it, new game, and we will analyze it with the Gathering Storm scenario, which is set on the 1st January of 1936. So the first scenario available in the game. Let's go to the other countries so we can just switch in between countries. Alright, while it's all blue, let's take a look into France. The ideology of France is currently democratic, with a, well, notably democratic regime. The leader is Edouard Dallier, or whatever. Alright, let's take a look into France European situation first. Well, France is bordering in Hearts of Iron 4 Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy and Spain. So, about the axis. It's bordering Italy and Germany, so it will get into a war most likely with these two countries. Spain is not certain if Spain will go to war with France as well. It might, but it also might not. So, but if you are going to pick France, you need to defend yourself against Italy and against Germany. Germany will firstly try to attack you from this Alsace and Lorraine, which will not work most likely if you have good defense. Then they will, well, like in World War II, attack Belgium and then flank you from the Ardennes. So that's about the European part of France. Let's look into its colonies in Africa. France has, together with the UK, the biggest colonies in Africa. It's bordering Spanish colonies, United British colonies and Italian colonies. You don't need to be afraid of British colonies and the rest. Perhaps maybe Spanish if they go really fascist, but which will not be the case most likely. Only worry about the colonies of Italy. Italy will most likely try to attack, if it's going on the historical path, the UK or France. As France is having so much land, well, you can be preemptive and just attack Italy first. So in the colonial region you need to worry about Italy only as a threat. Then France has here Madagascar, which shouldn't be a threat, which shouldn't get invaded if yes it's not, well, important. Here it's no factories, no bonus considerably so. Alright, then France owns French Indochina here, so quite a big chunk of Indochina is owned by France. This got invaded in the Second World War by Japan, which Japan will most likely invade French Indochina again, with a considerably high amount of troops. What you could try is you could spare troops to fight the Japanese, but fighting the Japanese isn't worth it because you need to, well, fight far more powerful and threatful allies such as Italy and Germany first. So this will, well, get conquered most likely by Japan, and well, I'll just let it be like that. So summarizing about France, we can say that you're in a tough position. Let's take a look onto Italy, the country you're playing also in the tutorial of Hearts of Iron 4. About the European situation, the mainland, let's look. Italy is bordering France, Switzerland, Austria and Yugoslavia in the European mainland. Well, Italy does not need to worry about Switzerland, Austria and Yugoslavia because they are not going to attack Italy, not at all. France, well, the thing is about France, if you join the war together with Germany, then Germany will most likely just conquer France straight away. And if you have a considerably defense here, That should be enough. Then France shouldn't push into your territory. So, the mainland situation is for Italy, well, quite easy. Italy doesn't have really any enemies besides France, but if Italy goes together with Germany, beating France shouldn't be a problem. So you should do that if you play as Italy. Alright, let's look onto the colonies of Italy in Africa. Italy actually owns Libya here, which borders France and the UK, as well as this part here, Somalia, I think, and this part here. Italy is also, I think, in the start of the game in the war with Ethiopia. So, well, well, Italy will win, so Ethiopia should be a part of Italy then as well. So, you have two main enemies in Africa. I would also concentrate the main bulk of your forces in Italy, in Africa. You have France on one side and the UK on the other side. The thing with Italy is, if you wait too long, especially the UK will get strong and, well, at one point not defeatable anymore. So, the situation of Italy in Africa is quite hard. You need to focus on the UK and first, and on France, but France wouldn't be a big problem. Okay, let's look into the German Reich here. German Reich, alright. Well, Germany doesn't have any colony, so we just need to look onto the European situation. Well, you all know that Germany, well, conquered all of Europe, so, but let's go one by one. In the beginning, Germany is bordering Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Poland and Lithuania. About the enemies, well, about the enemies that Germany should vary is, well, France, so Germany should have a good defense always up against France, and also Poland, because, well, Germany should attack Poland to get, well, Poland down, like Germany did in World War II. Let's say you play as Germany. Defeating France and Poland isn't so tough, so you own all of this territory here, France, it's all chunk. But then, your main enemy will be the UK initially. Initially the UK, and afterwards also the Soviet Union. Well, it doesn't matter. If you are in a war with the UK, and especially if you try to invade the UK, if you make progress, the USSR, the Soviet Union will, well, declare war on you. So war with both sides to the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union will be inevitable in that way. Playing as Germany is actually quite tough in the long term, especially if you play on veteran or regular, because at one point, I would say up to 95%, the US, the United States, will also join into the war. Then you will have, well, the biggest, the strongest country in the world with the highest industry playing against you. And at one point, if the US defeated Japan, which it most likely will, it will focus, well, helping the UK out and crushing Germany. So, while playing as Germany, it's really fun, but in the long term, if you are new to the game, also hard, so think about that. Well, then the other biggest measure here is the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union doesn't have any colonies outside of Europe, well, no colonies at all, only owns land in Europe and Asia. Let's see its, well, major enemies in Asia. In Asia, well, the Soviet Union only has one enemy to care about, it's Japan. Also, like in the Soviet struggle trailer. Sorry, it's Japan. So, the Soviet Union should have always a good defense up against Japan. So, Japan isn't conquering you in the east. Which they won't do if you keep your defense up and solid. They will focus most likely on China and at one point be in the war with the US. And if they are in the war in the US, I can tell you it's their least concern to attack you. So I would say focus much into Japan, into protecting yourself against Japan, but if the US helps you out, then you are fine and you can pull your troops off to fight the Germans. Well, while we are talking about the Germans, let's see. Germany will probably own like this here, so they will have a border with you. They will attack you most likely from Romania, and well, their main bulk of forces will come from Germany. Playing as the Soviet Union is, well, first off fun, but the Germans will be superior in quality if you pick the historical AR focus. You need to set up multiple lines of defense then to be successful in the counter the German Reich. Well, major. Ah yeah, the United States. Let's look onto the United States. It's currently 99% democratic. Alright. Well then, the United States has no colonies yet. I think Philippines might be a vassal of the US. Not sure about that. Sorry. Alright, the US. Well, you have no enemies. No one that you need to care of in America. You will get attacked by Japan if you don't attack them first into Hawaii here. Zoom in into Hawaii. Well then, the US has two main goals, I would say. First off, attacking Japan, and secondly, helping out the allies in the European theater. Well then, do we have any measures left which we didn't cover? Japan, yeah. Japan. Here. Japan will be in a war with China when the game starts, because of the or quite soon, I think. Anyways, you will get the event called the Marco Polo Bridge incident, which will trigger war with China. And China will be quite easy to defeat, so not the problem for Japan. If Japan defeats China, you can Japan attacked France and then it went into British India, which you also should do, so drive the allies out of Asia. Then also the Soviet Union, you need to care about, well, defense. You need to defend against the Soviet Union as well. Keep that in mind. Alright, we actually forgot one measure. The United Kingdom, the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones. Now I actually see the British Reich isn't, that's a colony, but not linked to the UK. Interesting. Well, it's probably better, because you will not need to care about its defense. Yeah. Alright, so we don't need to care about the British Reich. Well, the United Kingdom, let's go on. About Europe, well, you have your British Isle, neighboring Ireland as well. So, the UK is probably not that hard to play, like France, because you have a really strong fleet to protect yourself, and also a quite good air force which you should build up to protect yourself against Germany. If you have the fleet, well then Germany will not be able to attack you unless you decide to wreck some ships or to build normal ships at all. Even if you stay with your starter fleet, you should be fine against, well, Germany, and Germany shouldn't be able to invade you. So you do not need, I would say, at all troops here in the mainland, because, well, mainland troops cannot attack you. What you really need is airplanes and ships to protect yourself against Germany. Troops you will need in the later stage to strike against the Third Reich. Let's look onto the colonies of the United Kingdom in Africa. In Africa, the United Kingdom borders France and Italy, as Belgium and Portugal and Ethiopia, and yeah, outside Italy. And, well, Saudi Arabia shouldn't be a problem. Well, the countries you need to care about, to be prepared, is in Africa, I would say only Italy. perhaps also Vichy France, but Vichy France shouldn't have any troops at all here in Africa, so you should be able to conquer them with a small amount of troops. The main bulk you need to concentrate in Africa against Italy, which you should do. So, you need to attack yourself against this part, Italian Libya, and also this part here of Italy. So have a front line drawn here and also drawn here. So, we have looked briefly into all measures of the game. My suggestions for beginners would be, well, how the game says to try out Italy. If you are really new into the game, I would say try out Recruit, because it gives you massive bonuses. In general, if you didn't play House of Iron 3, if you just play a strategy game for the first time, I would suggest you playing on the Recruit. Of course, if you played House of Iron 3, or if you played like me every strategy game, if you want to have the game going really tough, you can play on the difficulty Veteran, but I really don't suggest you playing on the Veteran if you are just new to the game. Alright then. So, the best choice would be probably Italy for newcomers. Well, and also, well, Germany if you want to have fun. I mean, in a World War II game, based on World War II, and Germany is the main cause of World War II, you need to play as Germany. Alright, countries which I would not suggest to play if you're new into the game is actually France. Now, every country here can be fun first off. But France, well, starting off against Germany and Italy without some tactics is really, well, hard, per se. Probably the easiest country to play. The easiest country to play will be the United States. You cannot be attacked in the mainland, because you start off with a huge fleet and your industry is just so amazingly big. Especially if you convert your industry from civilian to military, it will be just insanely big. So you don't need to care about a mainland invasion for the US. Well, if you play as the US, you can do whatever you like. You can, well, getting fascist is quite hard here, so staying democratic will be the, well, best way for a new player. Joining the allies later on. You can do, well, whatever you like. You can attack Japan before they even declare war on you. You can focus straight away on building up the biggest military, the biggest military industry in the world. You can even help out France. Well, that might be problematic, but you can build your industry up before it happens in real life. You can either decide if you want to completely focus on Asia, or if you want to, well, like the US did in real, focus on Asia and Europe. So, after all, the easiest country to play would be the US, because you cannot lose a game playing as the US, especially if you play on Recruit. So, easiest country is the United States of America. Other easy countries are Italy. France is quite hard. Japan is alright-ish. But like I said, first off, for really new players will be the United States. So you get known into the game. You experience its mechanics. If you play as the Soviet Union, you will get thrown into a war with Germany, which will be fine if you prepare. But if you don't prepare, you might struggle. So that about the Soviet Union. Well, I hope you like this analysis of House of Iron 4, the major countries. If you liked it, please leave a like. And also subscribe if you want to see more. I will do more, definitely. Comment please as well if you have any questions, or if you want to just give a feedback, or, well, a negative feedback, whatever. Well, so I hope you like it, and see you all next time.